Good morning, adventurers. Sorry the light is kind of bad on my face, but I'm here at Waboose Lake, and we're going to do a day hike today, all the way around this lake. Let's go. Alright, just heading off here. So Waboose Lake is located in the Paul Bunyan State Forest. I have never been here before. It is located near Ashley, Minnesota, in central Minnesota. And this loop here is about 3.6 miles. And it goes all the way around the lake. So I'm expecting some beautiful views of this lake. It's a beautiful morning. It's about 70 degrees. Not a cloud in the sky. It is just a gorgeous day. Alright, so we left Waboose Lake and we go out to this other small lake here. Wow, and it's just beautiful. I'm gonna have to get down there. There's swans and stuff flying all over the place. Oh, look at that. So that little lake there, with all the swans, that was really special. So like I said, this trail goes around Lake Waboose. But it goes away from Lake Waboose for just a second and goes along this lake for just like 1/10 of a mile. But it's kind of special because we get over to see this lake, but there aren't any other trails or anything on this lake, so it's almost like it's pristine. It doesn't get bothered at all, just by this trail for a little bit, so it's kind of special to see those. And that's where all the swans and stuff are hanging out, because they know that's where they won't get bothered. Check this out, some pretty good old growth trees here. Look at that. Finally got a little view of Lake Waboose again. We're at kind of the bigger part of the lake. Had some great views the first, the beginning of this trail, but the last half mile or so have been pretty much green tunnel. But it looks like we're getting back out to the lake again. Alright, we have reached a junction with the North Country Trail. As well as the junction, there's a campsite here. Got a decent little fire pit here. A couple of logs to sit on or chop wood. Decent amount of space right in here to put up a tent. It's a little slanted over here. And then probably some good spots to hang hammocks too. Not a lot though. I mean, you could probably find some way to hang a hammock in here somewhere. And then you got Lake Waboose right here for water. Doesn't look like great water access, but sandy beach. Sandy, mucky, gross beach. Oh, that's not sand, that's mud. Muddy beach. It looks like sand. Alright, I think you can see, I don't know if you can see, it's all the way on the other side of the lake. Right there is the boat launch that I started at. We've hiked, I went counterclockwise, so I went all the way around this way to here. And now we gotta hike all the rest of this way around. Awesome. Well, I'm going to take like a 10-minute break here if we're halfway. I don't have a snack or anything, but just hang out here for like 10 minutes and relax. It's beautiful. Here. Oh, and there's a campsite here. Awesome. A little fire ring. This is state forest land, so you're free to camp wherever you want within the rules. This doesn't look like 100 feet away from the water, but Doesn't look like much spot for a tent either. A great spot for some hammocks. But a beautiful spot for a fire pit, overlooking the lake. And some great old growth pine trees here too. Look at these guys. What a great place. So, confused a little bit. My map, according to my map, the North Country Trail intersects with this trail just for a short period of time. And we have not even gotten to that point. Although, I've been seeing trail markers marking this as the North Country Trail. But I don't know. This might just be a scenic loop off of the North Country Trail, so they count it as, maybe they maintain it as part of the North Country Trail. But I've also been seeing white blazes and blue blazes. Now I believe the North Country Trail uses blue blazes, which blue blazes are very common. Most trails seem to use blue blazes. But here's another white blaze. White blazes are commonly used for spur trails. So this might just be a spur loop, spur scenic loop off of the North Country Trail. So they call it part of the North Country Trail. But I shouldn't actually be running into the actual North Country Trail until a little ways up here. But I've been seeing blue, I don't know, that's why I'm confused. I've been seeing blue blazes also. What in the blue blazes? Also, if you're unsure, a spur trail is a trail that pretty much grants access to something. So a spur trail for the North Country Trail would grant access from the trailhead to the actual North Country Trail. Holy moly, big tree fell down here. Look at that. Gotta go around. This trail has been really good so far. There have been several trees like that, but most of them have pretty good worn trails around them already. This trail looks like it gets decent use. I'm actually kind of surprised. I was afraid I was going to get here and the trail wasn't hardly going to exist. But it's actually a really decent trail. Could use a little bit of maintenance with all these fallen trees, but not too bad, not too bad. Oh, I spoke too soon. Alright, looks like the trail goes through here. Alright, made it. Okay, now we've reached the actual North Country Trail. It goes that way. And we're going to follow it going this way for a little bit. And then it will keep going and we will turn and follow Lake Waboose. looks like we found the campground. There's a little train over that way. Let's go check out the campsite. Oh, it's got a nice viewing bench. Not the greatest placement. A North Country Trail viewing bench. A nice little... What is this? A fire grate? There's another one down here. Alright, that looks like a nice little fire pit. It's even got air holes down the bottom there. Nice. A couple pretty crappy tent pads over here. This one's not too bad. I got some good space over there. Maybe right there. This looks terrible. And the rest of it is all uneven. It's very slanted. You can see how it's all sloping downhill. So you'd have a hard time putting a tent anywhere up here. Hammocks. Good spots for hammocks. Those two trees there would be great for a hammock. These two. Water access down here. Underneath this big fallen tree. Oh, look at that. And a nice beach. A nice little rocky beach. With some fish. Awesome. This looks like a pretty decent campsite over here. The other campsite that I stopped at is just around that bend up there around the corner. Okay, behind that bench there's a little trail. And it comes up here to a little landing. There's some good tent pads up here. So it looks like there's kind of really two campsites here. There's this one with that little tiny fire pit thingy there. And then there's the one that's further down with the bigger fire pit. This is kind of giving me early Superior Hiking Trail vibes. Before Superior Hiking Trail really got popular, when you could come out here and hike for a couple of days and not see a single person. Now it's gotten to the point where it's almost impossible to hike and not see people on the Superior Hiking Trail. My last few experiences on the Superior Hiking Trail, I've camped with several groups of people, and it's like a party at the campsite. It's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining, but it's not the right thing when you're looking for some solitude and some peace. I'm gonna have to come out here on the North Country Trail and do some actual miles. It is really nice out here. Here's the latrine. It actually has a privacy wall. I have not seen many that have that. They got a bucket for toilet paper. Awesome. That's about as nice as it gets out here in the wilderness. A privacy wall and a bucket to put your toilet paper in? Whoa. Alright, I've reached the junction of the Waboose Loop. I think our mystery is coming together here. So we got a sign here that says Waboose Loop. It's got a North Country Trail sign on it. So it must be part of the North Country Trail. Then, just down the trail a little bit, there's a tree here with a white blaze on it. And a blue blaze. What? So, the Waboose Loop is obviously just part of a scenic route going around. So we're going to follow the actual North Country Trail here for not very long. A couple tenths of a mile maybe. So, like I said earlier, this trail is within the Paul Bunyan State Forest. And some of you, especially if you're not from Minnesota, you might ask, who the heck is Paul Bunyan? Well, back in the early days of the state, he was a legendary lumberjack. He stood 100 feet tall, could chop down several trees with one swing of the axe. And he had a pet ox, a blue ox named Babe the blue ox. And they went around chopping all the trees down in Minnesota, and as they walked, their footprints made the lakes. And that's why Minnesota is the land of 10,000 lakes. In all reality, he was just a very good lumberjack. He was a normal person, like anyone else. I think he was really tall. He was probably like 7 feet tall. And he was a really big guy. And he made himself a legendary name doing lumberjack work in Minnesota. So now he's got a state forest named after himself. Paul Bunyan State Forest. Here's our split. North Country Trail, Waboose Lake Loop, North Country Trail. A small little fire pit right here, overlooking the lake. Beautiful spot. There's a bench here, but not really anywhere to put a tent. Or even really a hammock for that matter. Unless you hung it over the trail. Or maybe between these two trees. Great water access. Not sure that you're actually supposed to camp here, but it is state forest. And there's a fire pit here. Beautiful spot though. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful hike today. Again, the trail was pretty well maintained. There was a few trees that had, several trees I should say, that had fallen and blocked the path, but not a big deal. Bunch of gorgeous views of this lake. The swans were awesome. Got to check out some campsites. Beautiful day out here at Waboose Lake in Paul Bunyan State Forest. Thanks again everyone for joining me. I'll see you next Monday on Happy Trail Backpacking.